Right then guys, how's it going and welcome back to another fantasy football video. Game week 10 is over now. It was another red arrow week for me. So frustrating. Man City finally switched it on. Loads of points for some of their players. I didn't have De Bruyne. I had Sterling, who didn't even play. So yeah, it wasn't the greatest of weeks for me. Let me know down below how you did this week. As always, let me know what you're doing with your team for next week. We'll take a look at my team. I'll let you know what I'm doing. But before that, let's take a quick look at our league. So, straight away you can see red arrow. 202nd place in our league, the Roobenstein League. If you haven't joined yet, I will put the code above my head, so be sure to jump in. I think I was 150th place 2 weeks ago. Last week I dropped down to 175th. This week I'm down to 202nd. So in terms of a red arrow, it wasn't a huge one. I've had 2 red arrows in a week and I've only dropped 50 places. So, you know, if you're going to get a red arrow, at least it's not too much of a bad one. I did get above the average. I got 48 points. I think the average was 44. I will just mention here that we actually have a new entry. Yogesh. Thank you for joining, mate. As I say, join if you haven't. And as always, if you are on this top page of the league, you are doing better than me. Let's see some scores. 76 for Bama Bloodclot. Very good. I mean, is that the only 70? No, we've got another 71 here. Engul Zayed. Well done to you, mate. And if we keep going up, top spot is Flop No Clop again. He actually didn't have a great week. Just 46 points, but still enough to stay in the top spot. A good 20 points ahead. But this is what I mean, it's tight. How many points am I behind? Less than 100. So, you know, maybe this week could be my week. Let's take a look at that high score. 73 there, 71 there. Obama Bloodcott, 76 points. Highest on the top page anyway. Let me know if you did better. Leeds goalie Myler pulling in 11 points. I didn't realise he got that many. Chilwell. Chelsea defenders. I've tried to avoid them, but maybe it just needs to happen because, I mean, what has his point score been in the last few weeks? 6.6878. I mean, he started off at 5.5. He's now up to 6.1. I think it's going to get even higher than that. Very frustrating to not own him. Walker Peters, Cresswell, Grealish with a 10. Ward-Prowse with an 11. Getting back on the score sheet again. I mean, he's picked the captain right as well. It makes a big difference when you get your captain right. Fernandez is 20 points. Kane and Calvert-Lewin. And he's got Alexander-Arnold on the bench as well. Think of all those millions that could be going. So, yeah, well done to you, mate. Let's take a look at how I did. So as I say, 48 points. So frustrating. I mean, the 2 big things that got me this weekend was Man City won 5-0. I'm looking at it thinking, it wasn't Sterling. And then I realised he wasn't even playing. Especially when De Bruyne is the same price. I think De Bruyne came out with 2 assists. Sailing on the bench with 0. So frustrating. The only plus side was that Aylan was actually the player I had on the bench. So all of my defence got 1 point or 2. And Aylan was the man I wasn't even going to play. Came on and got 5. Again, frustrating. Aylan, Dallas, same price. Dallas got 8 points. Aylan got 5 points. Ollie Watkins. So, if you watched my video a couple of weeks ago when Callum Wilson was injured before the Chelsea game, I made the decision to swap Wilson out for Watkins. Looking at the fixtures of the 2 sides, they're not too dissimilar. I thought the points would generally be about the same, but Watkins was going to play in that first game and Callum Wilson wasn't. Watkins hasn't done anything yet. Wilson went and got himself a goal and an assist at the weekend and 3 bonus points, I think. So straight away, I would have been better off leaving Wilson in for the game he was injured than making that swap. So up comes Aston Villa last night. I'm praying for a performance because I've got Target, Grealish and Watkins all in my side. Watkins starts off by missing a penalty, hits the crossbar, and then he scores in the very last minute to save the day, and VAR rules it offside. So it's an up and a down on that one, because on a different day Watkins could have had 2 goals there and it would have been no problem. So it's not like he isn't creating the chances, but I liked Wilson. I had him in from the start, and if he'd never got injured, I never would have swapped him. I'm a Newcastle fan. I like to have someone to cheer about on my team that is actually a Newcastle player, and I took him out. Do I put him back? Do I need that Chelsea defender? I did take Kane out and put Vardy in, which did pay off. He did only get an assist. They did lose 2-1. It wasn't the haul of goals I hoped for against Fulham, but at least he got something. Captaincy choice. If I'd just gone with Salah, if I'd put Fernandes, so there's a lot of ifs and buts, and I think there's some decisions to make for this weekend. So I've picked my team as it stands. This is how it will look for this weekend. Sterling's in, and he's currently captain. I really don't know if I can stick with that or not. I think the fact that he missed the last game, surely Pep's going to bring him back for this one. I mean, Sterling would have been gutted that he didn't feature, especially when they won 5-0. I mean, for his ability, he deserves to be in that starting 11. They've gone and won without him. Will Pep change a winning team? Yes, I think he will. I think Sterling will play. However, is he captain risk? Will he play? Will he definitely play the whole game? Fulham have just gone and beat Leicester. Will Man City have as good a game as they did against Burnley? I think there's risk, but also a high reward margin with a Sterling captain, because you want him to come in. I think a lot of people, if they didn't already have De Bruyne instead of Sterling, will probably be making that swap, because De Bruyne is the man who's nailed on. And Sterling is the player who can come in with a big haul of points, but De Bruyne will just keep taking over with those assists. One game Sterling will score 3, but then the other game De Bruyne will get 2 or 3 assists. So it's pretty much of a much, and also De Bruyne has pens. I went for Sterling as a bit more of like an outside shot when I first put him in, but obviously Man City have been useless this season, and when they finally do something, Sterling isn't on the pitch. So yeah, I am a bit conflicted over that. I'm not going to change him for De Bruyne. I've decided that. I've only got 1 transfer this week, and I think I've got bigger fish to fry, because I think Sterling will be back. But looking at someone like Fernandes, who's played fantastically in the last few games, is he a safer captain choice? I think Salah, regardless of who Liverpool play against, is always a safe-ish captain choice. He's always in the box, and he takes the pens as well. Let me know on that board who should be captain. I don't think Calvert-Lewin's the one for captaincy. Jamie Vardy didn't do it against, or do what I wanted him to do against Fulham. I think it's either, I think Sterling is the risk-reward strategy. The safety net is probably Salah. I think a lot of people, if they've got De Bruyne, will captain De Bruyne. So yeah, it's a tricky one there. In terms of the rest of my team, I have gone and put in Phillips from Liverpool against Wolves. He's only 4 million. I stuck him in a while ago. He actually played for Liverpool at the weekend, but they were unable to keep a clean sheet. If he plays again against Wolves, maybe you get a clean sheet. Hopefully he plays, because I don't fancy either of my 2 players on the bench, which is the Wolves defender and Ayling against Chelsea. In terms of changes, I think I've got a few options. Which ones are the most important is the question, because I've only got 1. Kilman didn't actually start in the Wolves game, did he? He came on for the last 12 minutes against Arsenal. Again, he was a £4 million defender from Wolves. he wasn't someone I was really relying on. He was 4 million. I'll just stick him in. Hopefully he'll get some game time. And he did. For those 4 games, 5 games, 4 games. He did. He got the game time. He did well. Now he hasn't. And I've probably relied on him a little bit more than I would have liked to. And in a game week where I've got Masaka versus Man U, Aylan versus Chelsea, Kilman versus Liverpool, Will Phillips against Wolves if he even plays, I don't really have any decent defensive options. And as I say, the whole Chelsea thing has got in my head a little bit. If we take a look at the fixtures, to be fair, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say the Chelsea fixtures are that easy. I mean, they're not. They're in grey, which means the game has decided it's about. Does that mean? Oh well, it's in the middle. It's medium difficulty according to FPL. Can they concede against any of these teams? Yeah, probably. But looking at how Chilwell's done, you just watch it and feel like you're missing out. And he could do nothing this weekend. Leeds, Bamford could score a hat-trick. But if I go over transfers, I do have 1.2 million sitting in the bank. Now, I don't have enough to upgrade to Cresswell. But I do have enough to upgrade to James, who again is that Chelsea defender, the cheaper side defender. He has played in this and all these games in a row. I mean, it's been talked about, and this is partly the reason why I haven't got him, is I like to know I'm always going to have. Yeah, defenders is a tricky one. You can see here I obviously have not spent very much on my defenders, and it's basically a mishmash of as long as 3 out of 5 of them play, then I'll take it. But if Chelsea are at the point where they're going to literally get a clean sheet every single week, maybe I should be looking to put one of these guys in. Or should I not? Let me know. Should I just stick with what I'm doing here and keep the expensive attacking midfielder option? But as I say, there is the option there. I don't think it would be Kilman. Like, I could take out Phillips, who's that Liverpool defender who knows if he's even going to play. For James, I mean, that's not a bad transfer. If I make one transfer this week, that is not a bad one. But if he is going to play, he's only 4 million, and that's quite a good deal as well. What are the fixtures? Leeds have got Chelsea, West Ham, Newcastle, Man U. But Leeds are probably the team out of all of my players who have got the most clean sheets. I've stuck all my eggs in this bloody Aston Villa basket. What's West Ham? West Ham is Man U, Leeds, Crystal Palace, Chelsea. Wolves, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Burnley, Tottenham, Man U. I think, so of my defenders, I would probably say that Kilman is the one with the worst fixtures, and therefore would make sense for him to be the one that I changed. Maybe I should do that. The other thing that's upsetting me quite heavily is the fact that I took Watkins out for Callum Wilson. Should I put him back? or am I admitting defeat too soon by putting him back? I wouldn't be able to do both those transfers unless I took out one of my more expensive defenders. If we go back on here. Yeah, so as I say, I've got a few options. Let me know what you think down below. Aston Villa, I did go a bit heavy with them. Grealish has done well. Grealish scored, got some points. Target, since I put him in, hasn't got any clean sheets. No, I'm lying. I've always had Target in. But since I put in Watkins to make it the three amigos, Aston Villa have started conceding. Watkins misses a pen and is offside. It's missing the pen that's frustrating because Wilson's on pens, Watkins is on pens. Both teams decent fixtures. Watkins may well not be on pens anymore after missing the last one. Aston Villa are playing Newcastle. You know, I can't win in this scenario. If I put Wilson in, Aston Villa are going to batter us 3-0. If I leave Watkins in, Wilson's going to score a hat-trick. I really think I can't make the right decision there. Or do I just let it roll for 1 week? and just see what happens next. Should I be playing Ayling against Chelsea, considering Leeds are the only team I've got who seem to actually keep the ball out of the net at the moment? My midfield looks good. I think I'm worried about Sterling captain. I did make the switch from Kane to Vardy, which paid off because Kane did not score against Chelsea. Vardy got an assist against Fulham. So yeah, try and be positive, and that was a good change. Hopefully Vardy can do more against Sheffield United. Calvert-Lewin is just a set and forget. Watkins, Newcastle at home. You know, Aston Villa did have chances. Grealish did score. They did have a penalty. They did score an offside goal. So it's not like he did nothing. It's just he came out with nothing because of the missed penalty. Midfield, I can't get much better than that, except Sterling, De Bruyne. Sterling and De Bruyne, then De Bruyne captain. I think I'd rather risk it with Sterling and hope for the best. And then again, what can I expect? My defence didn't cost me anything. I can't be shouting that I didn't get any points when they all cost 4 or 4.5 million. But I do have a transfer to make. Is it worth bringing that Chelsea defender in? Will James actually play in every game, or is it a waste of a transfer? Chelsea up. Sorry, I've forgotten already. Chelsea are playing Leeds at home. I mean, Leeds have done well the last few games. I think they've had 2 0-0s in a row, so they've kept the other team out, but they also haven't scored. So maybe that's almost a stick them in, get the clean sheet, move on. Yeah. Let me know what you think down below. If I'm gonna, I think if I make a change this week, that's probably what it'll be. Is it worth trying to find the extra money to bring in Chilwell instead? I mean, I went from Kane to Vardy and it still hasn't allowed me. Yeah, not allowed. Kilman to James. Or is Kilman worth keeping? As I say, he only cost me 4.1 million. When if I buy him back, he's 4.3. You know, Wolves have got a bit of a tough string of games, but it's still Wolves, and I think they will still put, by the end of the season, have had a fair few clean sheets. Should I just take out my Liverpool defender, who's a bit of a, you know, he's the guy who I've just kind of stuck in there as hopefully he might play if I need him? Or is it worth having him? Because Liverpool have got so many injuries. If he does play, Liverpool may well get a clean sheet. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is the transfer that I'll probably do. It still is worrying because who knows if James is definitely going to play every game. I mean, it looks that way at the moment. But yeah, that is it. I don't know if I've been helpful in today's video or not, because at the end of the day, I'm a little bit unsure about my team at the moment as well. 3 red arrows in a row. I need to turn something around, and I only have one transfer to do it in. I think the big thing, a big thing every week is getting your captain right, and that's why it's worrying, because we don't know whether Sterling is the right captain or not. If someone came to me now and said, "Look, I've found out Sterling is not going to play this weekend," I think I will be tempted to use that transfer to put De Bruyne in and captain De Bruyne. If Sterling is going to play, and on the other side, if someone said Sterling is definitely going to play, then I would leave him in and I would captain him. Maybe just leave Salah as the vice captain, and if Sterling doesn't play, hope that he doesn't come on at all. So yeah, let me know what you think down below. Let me know what you're doing with your team as always. I did this last week. I worried about it last week. You guys told me, don't worry, Rob, your team looks all right. Maybe I had a right to worry because I got a red arrow. I'm worried again this week. Maybe I shouldn't be. We'll have to see. 3 players against my own team, Newcastle, is not really the setup that I want either, because I want to... Should have kept Wilson in. Right, okay, that is it. Thank you for watching, guys, as always. Drop a like. Prediction video out tomorrow night, because there is a Friday night game and it is Newcastle again. We won last Friday night. I think we're good to do it again. Who knows? But yeah, thank you all for watching. As always, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.